I'd like to also introduce Mario Dimovski. Is the founder, chief creator at Tradibot Industries, leading the way with his, I guess, contagious drive and optimism and unique vision. With 30 years of industry experience, his fascination with continuous improvement and focused knowledge acquisition has resulted in a reputation for being one of the most influential personalities across the automotive repair industry, printing and robotics. Mario's groundbreaking work has been covered by many industry and trade publications. He's also a prominent supporter of women in the collision industry, illustrated by his move and pushing the boundaries of digital transformation. Mario has been recognised as a circular economy and plastic repair pioneer, both founding and managing Plasfix, the world's most successful and rapidly expanding automotive plastic repair and recycling businesses. So welcome to Mario, and I believe we're going to show a video.
Good morning everyone, my name is Mario Dimovski. I'm from Tradibot Industries. I want to thank PWI for the invite to talk today. I'll be talking about advancing technologies in the automated repair sector, and especially augmented and virtual reality. So separating the differences between virtual, augmented and merged reality. So virtual reality is actually when you've got the virtual glasses on and you're in a complete digital environment. Augmented, it's actually the real world overlaid with digital information using a smartphone or smart glasses. And merged reality is a mixture of both and also using hand gestures or other navigation. So we're looking at the rise of VR and AR, and it's led by our global giants. Our tech companies as Google, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft all invest heavily, not just into people, infrastructure, hardware, software. Just recently, Horizon has been launched by Facebook, which is a virtual world where actually people can put on their virtual glasses and interact with communities and people and literally live a life in this virtual environment. Recently, Google have also created an AR and VR community for leaders. We can share information, connect, and hardware. Hardware is a big one as wearables. Each of these companies and other software companies and hardware companies are very active in developing various virtual and augmented glasses as wearables become one of the big talking points. And what it's doing, it's creating a massive demand for talent. Facebook alone have got nearly 3,000 positions advertised across multiple platforms, and the other big giants not far behind. And what's all this driven by? It's driven by our digital world. It's changed the way we live our life. You can communicate everywhere and anywhere now. You can get information anytime. Gone are the days of waiting for the newspaper or waiting for print to get something. Now you just grab your phone, you can get information anytime you want, anywhere you are, it doesn't really matter. And it's all driven again by these advancements in smart devices. Started with the phone, the watch, TV, glasses. The shift from human to digital engagement is becoming more and more apparent each day. So what are some of the impacts the digital evolution is having on us as a society? I mean, the mobile has become the key source of connectivity. Now, people are spending more time on their mobile than they are with humans. Businesses are making decisions based on AI. Technology is becoming abundant, cheaper, faster. New digital skills are coming up, career paths created by this digital evolution. Everything's becoming smarter, the phone, the TV, the watch, smart cities, and the smart car. I think if we need proof of how fast the digital world's moving and technology is advancing, and it's actually looking at the vehicle. Built-in smart factories using the latest technology, they have the ability to plan your schedule, your next service schedule. They navigate using voice commands. They can communicate with infrastructure, parking meters, lights, tolls. There's rapid advancements in electric vehicles and safety systems like ADAS. They have the ability to drive, park themselves. Device friendly. Now you can actually start your vehicle via your mobile phone app. Turn the heater up, move it up or down. It's actually unbelievable in the last 5 years how advanced vehicles have got And it raises the question, who will repair tomorrow's vehicles? So if we take a step back and into the reality of the collision industry and see some of the challenges that have not just been there now, have been there for a while, and shortages in apprenticeships and new talent. We have dropping numbers of new recruits, poor industry perception. We're still seen as a dirty industry by parents and kids at school. We're failing to engage with new targeted audiences as these kids and parents or career advisors. Recruitment programs are having minimal impact. We're failing to sell our industry as a great industry it is. Industry is recycling the same shrinking pool of talent. They're just moving from one collision centre to another collision centre. And then we have our skills and knowledge gap that's actually becoming larger and larger as cars are becoming more complex. Technicians are actually falling behind with the knowledge they have to repair these vehicles. Paper is still the primary source of communication. Technicians depend on human knowledge for repair assistance. Joey the apprentice needs to call Harry, when he's stuck to understand how to perform something or how to do it. Then if he doesn't know, he needs to call someone else. Underskilled and information poor. Training delivery methods are outdated and limited. We've got a culture of not following OEM repair methods. It's proven, it's been written about, and it comes down to access. It's just too hard and complex to get actually information when you need it. And there's limited investment in technology and digital tools. Repair shops are investing their time in trying to get the cars out and repaired to a quality standard because of the shortfall and the challenges of talent or technology. So these are some of the issues that actually need to be addressed to be able to move forward. So can AR and VR technologies help? Virtual technology, experience, yep, it's fully immersive in the virtual content. Hardware, virtual reality headset and controllers. The field currently, training, early learning, communication, gaming. Use cases, plenty of spray painting simulators out there and also welding. Future trade use. Virtual reality is going to have a big impact in the virtual training space, assessment and early learning. But if you look at augmented reality, which is the big one, current experience, digital content overlaid into the real world. Hardware, smartphone, tablet, glasses. The field, information delivery, training, job assistance, quality control, just to name some. Use cases currently, customer engagement, manufacturing, quality control, technician support, and future use. Most service and technicians or repair industries will use some sort of AR to get information on repair methods. That is the future of AR, which is a much, much bigger and more impact technology than VR. Moving on to virtual reality, a very known technology that's been around in gaming. Companies using virtual tours now developed for simulators. One of the examples is a spray painting simulator that we've developed. It comes in a console. It's about 10 kilos light. It's a travel case that can be deployed. Considering the COVID situation now, it's contactless. We can send these units out to schools or training centers, and they can get assessed and engaged virtually, capturing data through a cloud and seeing how they've gone. They're cost effective. You're saving on material and equipment. Location and area independent. You can have a classroom anywhere and at any time. Also accessible online. Unlimited environments. You can develop virtual environments from vehicles to train carriages to whatever the asset that needs to be trained and utilized. Can capture user motion and tracking. Even better than a real life trainer. Have the ability to understand how somebody's applying the paint and if they are using the right rhythm, the right speed. Talking about gamification. The younger generation, this is what they're used to. They are gaming. They are using these tools. So to be able to use this same technology to actually engage with them, but also to get them assessed and interested into trades, is a great way forward. And the availability of hardware as VR sets. All schools are getting now VR sets as part of their hardware offering. It stimulates interest for trades. It's appealing to the next generation. It increases user engagement, and it's environmentally friendly. You're not wasting paint. It's not toxic, and it does all the things that can be done in a spray booth without the logistics of getting someone over there and wasting money, time for trainers and everything around that area. So a big benefit to industry, and where a lot of the training will evolve. As we spoke earlier, as we said, Facebook's developing a virtual world for people to engage with. So why can't we develop a virtual trade world where people can come in and do training and get assessed and get engaged towards a trade that they want to move down to, and then we can actually then recruit and connect with this younger generation, or even if we're upskilling. So virtual reality is going to be one of the big game changers within the skills and also recruitment. And now if we look at augmented reality, a technology that's pretty much evolving as we currently speak, a technician to have the ability to walk up to a vehicle, scan the number plate or the VIN with a smartphone app, activate the targeted area or repair for service, get rich information straight from an OEM source, ability to see through the vehicle like X-ray vision. You imagine the benefit of being able to look through a vehicle, say a front end, to be able to see from the bumper bar, bonnet, brackets behind, headlight, bolts, secure points. This is some of the ability available through augmented reality and using CAD within, to get actually up-to-date information, live OEM updates, perform tasks regardless of your experience. You don't have to ask anyone. Having the app and having the technology in your hand, you'll be able to perform no matter of your level of experience. Be advised on what tools and materials to use regarding that repair. Getting step-by-step instructions via screen animation. Using voice, touch to command or navigate the app. You can integrate with estimating platforms and management platforms. The whole beauty about AR and the technology coming in, it's not to actually disrupt anyone's business. It's more of a beautiful add-on that actually can add value to current systems that are out there, because it's a new tool, it's a new technology. Get remote assistance if need. Capture user activity for own training or for customer reference. The ability to get live updates. If something happens today from an OEM perspective, or there's a recall or anything, technically you can get that live then and there instead of waiting for PDFs to be sent or printed out or emails. And quality control. Using AI, you have the ability to overline and do quality control to make sure areas that have been repaired line up and do various things. So this is the real world of augmented reality, and it's going to have a big impact in our industry once the technology fully evolves.
or sides and underside of the bumper. Unclip the side retainers by gently pulling the edge near each wheel arch. To remove the fog lights, use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove 4 retaining screws. Remove 3 retaining bolts. Slide assembly forwards to release from lower clips. Carefully release the headlight connector by squeezing the plug. Using clip release tool, release rear section of mudguard liner. Use 10mm socket to remove guide bolts, then lever down to release. Use 10mm socket to remove bolts from fender panel. Leave the top bolt until last to prevent panel falling. Remove bolt from top of fender panel. Then gently pull away from chassis.
So as you seen on the video, the power of AR and some of the benefits it's going to bring to technicians, businesses and the industry. And look, I mean, vehicle OEMs have been using AR and developing various apps. Ferrari, they've got a virtual vehicle showroom that you can build your own Ferrari with different types of wheels, interior, color, vehicle. Mercedes, they've got a very interesting concept they're developing, which is actually an app for rescue workers to free drivers in the case of accident, best cut points of metals and the way the structure of the vehicle is. Porsche, they've got a remote mechanical service that they've been trialing using AR and different wearables. Audi are using in manufacturing and quality control in their smart factories. Hyundai have actually replaced the manual, which is once you buy a vehicle, and they're actually using an AR app to help customers learn how to use various components within the dash and the vehicle. And Volkswagen are using it for training and design. Just some of the AR advancements in automotive, and there's many more out there that are actually getting developed in that space of the consumer facing or manufacturing within the OEM space. So the AR adoption and what the road looked like. I mean, global advancements in AR, we've covered a fair bit. It's not just from an OEM perspective in automotive, but also in society. There's a lot of AR apps out there. Probably the most famous that we all know is Pokemon Go. IKEA have just launched an AR app recently on how to assemble furniture. Google Maps using AR and navigation for people for directions. Some of the leading shopping centers are actually using AR to actually guide people to certain products. And what's this actually creating? It's creating a growing demand for AR. It's actually across all industries, marketing and advertising, customer facing, manufacturing, service. They all are tapping into AR. And what it's creating a huge shortfall in talent, which actually then drives development cost up and so on and so forth. So, what we need to look at is, in some sense, how we work around this. Where current providers are. There are current providers out there that are developing or have developed platforms. There's not many to choose from, but the current ones that are out there, they're actually very complex. You can't just download or get subscription and start building your own content. You actually need to be a developer or some level of coding to be able to navigate through some of these platforms. And I guess one of the positive things that we're developing at TradieBot is we're developing a very collision-based app and platform that is very user-friendly, that technically anyone can drag and drop content and information in here. And which brings us to the understanding of such technologies by our industry. Industry is at the moment focused on what they need to focus on, and that is getting cars out, trying to deal with new technologies and systems like ADAS, the challenges of the talent shortage and, having underskilled staff. So these are all the challenges that the industry is facing today. So no one's really at the moment, not worrying about what the future holds, but these are the technologies that need to come in. And then that brings me to investment. Who is going to invest in technology like this to measure the return? When does it come through? Who's going to be the early disruptors? This is going to be a very disruptive technology once it comes in. It's going to bring a lot of benefits to industry, to technicians, to businesses, to insurance, to OEMs. It's going to come down to, who is going to drive these technologies and these solutions. Delivery methods. Is it going to come through an OEM? Would it be an OEM straight to collision repair platform? Is it going to come through a third party? There's various questions there, the technology, once it comes out and how it's going to be delivered. And also sharing data, repair methods. The platform is a technology platform regardless of who's providing it, and needs to be built with content. It needs CAD, it needs repair methods, it needs to be plugged in there to be able to be accessed by a technician. And culture is probably the big one that we need to get over. Till recently, we were still faxing as an industry. We got over that and started using email. Now we're trying to push mobile apps, and now we're talking about wearables. So I think we need to take it step by step as an industry perspective and really give that information in dribs and drabs. We don't want to overload the industry and especially the technician on the floor with so much, because there's a lot happening at the moment. But it's a matter of, I guess, when, not if. So that's the positive things around AR and some of the things we need to look at. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed that and can see some of the beneficial aspects of using these new technologies within the rail industry. Thanks to Steve and Abdul for the opportunity, and I'll be available to take any questions and have a chat after the presentation.